Hey everyone, thank you for joining me or taking the time to review this Push Masterclass. I'm so sorry some of you tried to get online. I don't know what happened with that, but here we are. This is a review of our Monday morning master class. And it's entitled Push, Stay Persistent Until Something Happens. So, what is push? When you hear the word push, what do you think of? In the class today, some said labor, some said moving forward, um, some said an uphill battle. Push could mean a whole lot of different things to different people. What we're talking about today is PUSH. Stay persistent until something happens. As we go through this lesson, we'll find that push can also stand for other things, but we want to focus on staying persistent. When was the last time persistence paid off for you? Some said, in school, trying to learn a new instrument, trying to learn a new language. Um, think about when the last time you were persistent about something, not annoying, but just persistent because you had a focus in mind, right? And you stayed stuck with it and it paid off for you. So let's look at Simone Biles. We're all familiar with her and her athletic ability. We know that in order to be a winner, you have to keep pushing. So winners keep pushing. Benjamin Franklin said, energy and persistence conquers all things. How true is that, right? Because if you have the energy and you are persistent, there's nothing that you can't do. So Simone Biles' story is just very interesting if anybody knows her story and how she came about and her background. But one thing she did was never give up, right? And so she kept pushing. And that's why she can stand here with all these medals around her neck because she has the mindset to keep pushing. Failure was not an option. When she failed, she turned it around and took the lesson from it. So persistence drives results, right? Look at this young man climbing this mountain, right? If you're going to get to the top, persistence is how you're going to do it. We talked about in class, Karina, I believe, has climbed a mountain, not this big, but has climbed a mountain before. And what she said was what drove her was continuously looking up towards the goal. When she kept her eyes on the goal, she felt exhilarated and she felt pushed to continue. And she pushed through any anxiety or fear she had. The reverse of that is when we look back, right? And we look down, we start getting nervous and we say, oh, we haven't come that far at all. Or I made it far enough. I'm not going any further. Your fear takes over because you feel like you're never going to make it to the top. But if you keep your eyes on the prize and you keep pushing forward, you will get to the results that you want. So small steps add up, right? Look at this man. He's pushing this hay bale. Um, it didn't start as a big hay bale like that. I'm sure it was one little hay bale rolled and continually rolled in small steps, and it added up to this big hay bale. And we have to remember in our business that it's the small steps that add up. We don't necessarily have to jump in um, and make a splash right away. Many of our realtors who get into the business, they don't last long or they change brokerages quickly because they don't give themselves enough time to build momentum. They come in wanting instant gratification for whatever reason. They need to do it now, they need to do it fast, but everything takes time. So if you're looking for the quick fix, real estate may not be for you because those who are performing at their highest level didn't just jump into this and started performing at that level. That's impossible. They pushed to strive to the goal of what they wanted. They set their expectations for themselves and their business. And they realized that small repetitive steps and persistency adds up. So here's another way of looking at the push method or the push theory, right? P can stand for purpose. So clarity fuels persistence. If you're clear on your goal, then you're going to want to persist and keep doing the actions that's going to get you to your goal. Anchor your actions to your purpose. That's why we talk about your why, and that your why needs to be strong enough to motivate you on those days when you don't feel like getting out of the bed, you don't feel like making those phone calls, you don't feel like doing any marketing, you don't feel like doing um, the busy mails, and you don't feel like doing the things that are going to push you forward. Anchor those actions to your purpose, right? What's your why? What is that thing that keeps you getting up every day and showing up? The other thing is the U can also stand for unwavering mindset, right? There's resilience in action. If we allow our negative mindsets to take over, we will never ever get out of the rut. You have to wake up each day knowing that you want something different. And how you start your day is really a roadmap for how your day will continue. If you start with negative thoughts or start on social media, that's the kind of stuff that's going to rule your day. If you start with something positive, a podcast, a spiritual reading, or a message, or meditation, then you're going to have a different outset throughout the day and you're going to feel better. So build your daily rituals, such as affirmations or journaling or personal notes, right? Lean on accountability partners. If you don't have an accountability partner, find one. Okay, there is someone who needs you just as much as you need them. And you can motivate each other and you can persist together, right? You can check each other and say, hey, you said you were going to make 3 phone calls today. Did you make those 3 phone calls? Yeah, I made my phone calls, but you said you were going to write 5 personal notes. Did you do that? Hold each other accountable. Accountability partners are important, especially when you're in a business like this. Reframe failure into a lesson. Sometimes we fail, but the true failure in failing is not trying again. So when you fail, reframe it into a lesson. Oh, someone called and said that they went with someone else to sell their home. How do we reframe that failure, right? What did I not do to retain them or stay top of mind where they thought about me instead of going to someone else? How can I learn from that mistake? Is it more touches? Is it more phone calls? What can I do to show everyone that I'm a realtor and this is what I do, right? So the unwavering mindset, just because you're new doesn't mean that you can't get it done. The next thing is systems and strategies. S can stand for your systems and strategies. Make sure you have those checklists. There are daily non-negotiables, things that you should not negotiable. I'm not leaving today until I make 5 phone calls, or I'm not leaving until I write 3 personal notes, or I'm not leaving the office until I do at least one real estate review today. Time blocking. If you time block, it makes it easier for you to make sure that you get the things that you need to get done in the time frame and do a clear cutoff. Okay, this is your time to make phone calls. Fine, you hit that 2 o'clock hour, phone calls are over. What's the next task? Sometimes having the variety helps to keep it fresh and it keeps you from um, getting bored or tired or falling into a rut, right? So structure creates the freedom that we all desire, right? So systems and strategies are important. And then the H, habits that create breakthroughs. What habits are you creating? Small habits can equal big results. So on the screen, I have what's called a habit loop. And what the habit loop talks about is there's a cue, all right, that triggers the brain to initiate a behavior. And then the motivational force behind every habit, your why, is your craving. What are you craving? What do you want to get accomplished? By doing the habit is your response to that craving. The actual habit, which can take the form of a thought or an action. And then by doing that, by responding, you get the reward, the end goal of every habit. And so it's like a cycle. You have something that triggers your brain. I want that. I'm going to do this X, Y, and Z to get that. I've gotten it. Now I'm at the reward state. Now I'm going to do it again because it felt good. So creating those habits are what's going to create breakthroughs in your business. It may be making phone calls, it may be reading a book, it may be just practicing your gratitudes every morning or every evening before you go to bed. So start with something small, do it, and then habit stack. Add something else on it. So maybe you want to start with, your gratitudes before bed. Then add gratitudes in the morning, or do some scripting, do some type of um, podcast, which puts you in a positive mindset, and that can become your habit. So when we look at what push stands for and the persistence that is required, make a push commitment, right? Make a push commitment for this week. What is that one thing you're going to do to push your business forward? Why don't you identify an accountability partner and come up with that one push action that you're going to take this week, and let them come up with an action, and you call each other on it, right? And then once you've done that and you've accomplished that task, celebrate. Celebrate by buying yourself a push gift. Have you heard of a push gift before? Expectant mothers who go into labor, they say they deserve a push gift, right? Because that's probably one of the hardest things they're going to do, just like forming a habit. It's probably one of the hardest things they're going to do. And so they should be rewarded for bringing life into this world. Some ask for, cars, jewelry. So why make this any different? When you have accomplished that task, your push for the week, why don't you celebrate by buying yourself a push gift? It could be a Starbucks coffee, it could be, a new lipstick, it could be a new hat, guys, a tie, whatever floats your boat, right? But celebrate your wins, celebrate your small steps. And so staying persistent until something happens. You already have what it takes. So all you need to do is keep pushing. And persistence will get you there, and consistency will keep you there. That's all I have for you this Monday for Mastery. I hope you guys will um, really lean into the message today about persistency and persisting until something happens, and creating a push activity for yourself. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me here at the office. Thank you so much for your time, 12 minutes of your time, and I hope that this is beneficial to someone.